Have you ever woken up and felt like the day already got ahead of you? Like no matter what you do, your energy just isn't what it used to be? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Many people over 60 tell me the same thing. They're not necessarily tired, but they're not exactly energized either. The truth is, how we start our morning sets the tone for everything that follows. And believe it or not, the people who live to 100, they've got a few morning habits that make a big difference. Now, don't worry. I'm not about to suggest you run a marathon at sunrise or start chugging green juice every morning. What I'm going to share today is far simpler, far more doable, and surprisingly powerful. In this video, we're diving into 3 little things that people who live past 100 do in the morning, and how you can do them too. They're easy to start, cost nothing, and might just add years to your life. So, if you're someone who wants to feel more alive when you wake up, stay sharper as the years go by, and just feel good in your own body, you'll want to stick with me until the end. Because the third habit on this list, it's something most people overlook entirely, but it might be the secret ingredient that ties everything together. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with something that's easy to do, but so often skipped. Simply greeting the morning with intention. Now I know that might sound a little abstract, but stay with me here. When researchers look at centenarians, people who live to 100 and beyond, one of the most consistent things they found is that these folks don't just roll out of bed and stumble through the morning. They wake up slowly with awareness. They stretch. They breathe. Some even speak out loud. A word of gratitude, a prayer, or just a thought to guide their day. There's a woman in Okinawa, Japan, which you might know is one of the blue zones, where people commonly live past 100, who starts every day by opening her window, looking out at the sunrise and saying, "Thank you for this day." That's it. Just a moment to connect with life. But guess what? That tiny habit creates a powerful mental shift. It reduces stress, helps regulate blood pressure, and sets a calm tone for the rest of the day. Scientists have found that starting your morning with gratitude activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the one that tells your body, you're safe, you can relax. And when your body isn't stuck in stress mode, everything works better: digestion, memory, even immune function. So tomorrow morning, before reaching for your phone or turning on the news, try pausing for a moment. Stretch your arms, take a breath, and say something simple like, "I'm glad to be here." It may sound small, but over time, small things build big results. Now, let's move into something more physical, but again, totally doable. People who live long, healthy lives tend to move first thing in the morning. But here's the surprise. They're not doing intense exercise. In fact, in places like Sardinia, Italy, or Nicoya, Costa Rica, 2 more regions known for long life, people don't go to the gym at all. Instead, they just move naturally. They garden. They walk to visit a neighbor. They sweep their porch. These are gentle, low-impact activities, but they're done daily and they're done early. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that even light movement in the first hour after waking up can improve joint mobility, lower blood pressure, and boost mental alertness. And for seniors, especially those over 70, starting the day with light movement helps prevent stiffness, reduces the risk of falls, and keeps the circulation flowing to the brain and heart. It's like oiling your joints and waking up your mind all at once. You don't need fancy equipment, just a few minutes of slow, intentional movement. Maybe walk to the end of your driveway. Do some gentle arm circles while the kettle boils. Put on your favorite song and sway with it. The point isn't to work out. It's to send a message to your body. It's time to start the day. And here's something interesting. People who move in the morning tend to make better choices throughout the day. It's like a ripple effect. You stretch for 5 minutes, and suddenly you feel like choosing fruit over pastries, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. The body wants to keep the momentum going. That's the magic of a morning ritual. It sets the tone for everything else. Now that we've looked at how centenarians begin their mornings with both the mind and the body in focus, we're starting to see a pattern. It's not about doing a lot. It's about doing a little every single day. These habits aren't flashy, but they're powerful because they're consistent. They build a sense of rhythm, a kind of stability that helps the body and mind feel grounded, no matter what age you are. We've already explored how starting the day with intention and gentle movement can make a huge difference. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. And now, we're moving into one of the most powerful yet often overlooked habits that those who live to 100 almost always do. It has to do with what they feed themselves, but I'm not just talking about food. Let me ask you something. What's the first thing you consume in the morning? Is it the morning news? Social media? Maybe a stressful phone call or a to-do list already a mile long? For a lot of us, the day begins in a rush of information, much of it negative or overwhelming. But the people who reach 100 tend to approach mornings differently. Before anything else, they nourish their minds with something positive. In Loma Linda, California, another Blue Zone community known for longevity, many seniors start their morning by reading a daily devotion, a poem, or something uplifting. It might be a spiritual passage, a memory from their past, or simply sitting with a cup of tea and reflecting quietly. One man, who recently celebrated his 101st birthday, shared that every morning he reads one uplifting quote and writes one sentence about what he's grateful for that day. That's it. No screens, no chaos. Just something to anchor the mind before the world rushes in. Why does this matter? Because studies show that how we start our mental day has a ripple effect. A 2020 study in the journal Emotion found that people who began the day with positive input, even something as simple as looking at a joyful photo or hearing a kind word, had better emotional regulation throughout the day. That means fewer mood swings, lower stress levels, and better decision-making. And here's where it gets really interesting for those of us over 60. Mental stimulation like reading, journaling, or reflecting in the morning can actually help slow cognitive decline. According to researchers at the Rush Memory and Aging Project, seniors who engaged in daily mental activity, even light activity, had a 30% slower rate of memory loss than those who didn't. 30%. That's a huge difference made by just a few quiet minutes in the morning. So tomorrow morning, after you've stretched and maybe taken a few steps, I invite you to give your mind something good. Open a book. Write a short reflection. Even listening to soothing music or nature sounds can make a difference. It's not about being productive. It's about being intentional. Start the day with something kind, something meaningful, something that tells your brain, we're starting on a good note today. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what if my mornings are chaotic? What if I'm helping a spouse or managing a health issue? And I hear you. Life doesn't always give us calm and quiet. But this habit isn't about carving out an hour of peaceful solitude. It's about finding one moment, just a few minutes, to set your mind gently on the right track. It could even be as simple as sitting at the table, closing your eyes for 30 seconds, and thinking, today, I will be kind to myself. That counts. And here's another little secret about centenarians. They don't multitask in the mornings. That's right, the people who live the longest usually have slow, simple mornings. They don't rush to check email while brushing their teeth. They don't eat breakfast while paying bills. They do one thing at a time. And this is backed by science. Multitasking increases cortisol, the stress hormone, and long-term exposure to high cortisol levels can increase inflammation, heart problems, and even memory loss. But when you slow down, you breathe more deeply, your heart rate steadies, you think more clearly. Your body and mind start working with each other, not against each other. That's what makes the morning a foundation, not just a few hours before noon, but the base on which your whole day is built. Now, I want to take a second to check in with you. If you're still watching this video, and you found this helpful so far, do me a quick favor, type, "I'm here" in the comments below. It lets me know you're with me, and it helps more people like you find this video too. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're building a community here, one where age doesn't mean slowing down, it means growing wiser. So let's grow together. All right, let's keep going. We've talked about greeting the day with gratitude and intention, we've talked about movement, and we've talked about what you feed your mind. But there's still one more thing people who live to 100 do almost every single morning, and it might be the most surprising habit yet. It's something that isn't obvious at first glance, but once you understand why it matters, it can change everything. The last morning habit that shows up again and again in the lives of people who make it to 100 is connection. Not just physical presence, but real, intentional connection, even in small ways. You might be surprised by how powerful this is, especially in the first hours of the day. In Okinawa, one of the world's most well-studied blue zones, elders are deeply woven into their communities. Even those in their 90s and 100s still start their mornings checking in with neighbors, preparing simple meals for others, or tending to a garden that feeds the whole village. And no, it's not because they're trying to stay busy. It's because that morning connection gives them purpose, a reason to get up, a reason to keep going. We often think of health as nutrition, exercise, and sleep, and of course those are crucial. But purpose, belonging, and meaningful relationships are just as essential, especially as we get older. In fact, Harvard's 85-year-long study on adult development found that close relationships, more than money, fame, or even cholesterol levels, are what keep people happy and healthy as they age. The morning is the perfect time to nourish those relationships. For some, this might mean calling a friend or grandchild just to say good morning. For others, it could be sharing breakfast with a spouse, a neighbor, or even a pet. And if you live alone, connection might look like writing a short note to someone, sending a kind message, or simply sitting quietly and remembering someone you love. The point is, don't start the day in isolation. Start it with connection, no matter how small. And there's something else beautiful about this habit. When you begin your day by thinking about others, not in a stressful, overwhelming way, but in a kind, human way, you shift your focus outward. It's almost like planting a seed of joy that grows throughout the day. Even something as simple as smiling at the grocery store clerk or waving to a neighbor on your morning walk can lift your spirits and strengthen your heart. Literally. Research from the University of Michigan found that older adults who engaged in daily acts of connection volunteering, chatting with a friend, helping someone, had lower levels of inflammation and stress. These small acts reduced the risk of high blood pressure, depression, and even cognitive decline. Turns out, kindness isn't just good for the soul. It's good for the brain and the body too. You don't need to be surrounded by a big group of people every morning. That's not what this is about. It's about feeling like you matter, like you're still a part of something meaningful. And that starts with the smallest gestures. A smile, a word, a hand on someone's shoulder, even just eye contact. It's not dramatic. It's human. So, if you've ever woken up feeling a bit invisible, a bit forgotten, let this be your invitation to reach out. Say hello. Send a message. Step outside and greet the day with openness. Because when you start your day with connection, you're reminding yourself and the world that you still have so much to offer. And you do. Now let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've talked about. The people who live to 100 don't have superpowers. They aren't chasing extreme diets or fitness trends. They're simply starting their days with a few intentional, powerful habits. Gentle movement to wake the body, quiet moments to feed the mind, and meaningful connection to feed the soul. These aren't massive lifestyle overhauls. These are small, doable actions, ones you can start tomorrow morning. And you don't have to do them perfectly. The beauty of these habits is that they're flexible. You can adapt them to your needs, your routine, your lifestyle. What matters most is the intention behind them. Waking up and choosing to care for yourself, body, mind, and spirit. That's what sets the tone for a healthy day and a long life. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Truly, you're showing up for yourself in a way that matters and that deserves recognition. I hope something in this video spoke to you, whether it was the idea of slowing down, feeding your mind something positive, or connecting with someone you love. And I'd love to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, which of these morning habits are you most excited to try? Or which one do you already practice? Your experiences might just inspire someone else reading. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing. We're building a warm, supportive community here. One where growing older means growing wiser, stronger, and more connected. And we've got so many more videos coming your way to help you do just that. Here's to living your best life at any age. Here's to simple habits, joyful mornings, and many, many more years ahead. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. I'm rooting for you, always.